On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we're discussing Starfleet Academy 104, Vox in Excelso, right after these words from firm but gentle Coyote and fingers pressed against my burly Klingon chest.
Can you survive in my void? Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you listen in on two lifelong friends sit and chat about Star Trek like they always do. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I am David C. Robertson.
How's it going, bud?
It's going, man. It's going. I'm tired. I'm going on about an hour and a half of sleep, and
Woo!
Yeah.
Why'd you do that to yourself, bud?
I'm on a bad schedule, and then my sister and mom came up to have lunch and invited me to go with them, so that's what had to happen. And then, they wanted to go to the Second and Charles and Dollar Tree and Five Below and Target and a bunch of places, so I tagged along.
Nice. Man, that's cool.
I don't get to see him as much as I want to, so.
Say hi to your mom for me. I haven't seen her in years.
All right.
Well, you ready to talk about Star Trek?
No, not at all. No, I'm just kidding. Sure. We haven't done the Memory Alpha summary. This was actually pretty good. I'm surprised. When an existential crisis threatens to wipe out a beloved but infamous Star Trek species, a cadet is forced to confront his past and strained relationship with his family. As he pursues an unexpected method of coping, Nala races against time to save this species from extinction.
Yeah. What'd you think? What'd you think of this year? Episode 4.
I loved it.
Yeah?
I thought it was really, really great. There was maybe one thing that I would have changed a little bit. I loved the solution at the end.
Yeah. I thought of this solution as soon as they mentioned that this planet was there, but they'll only take it by conquest. I was like, well, let them conquest it. Somehow draw them into a battle and let them have it. But I don't know. I'm of two minds about the ending because it just depends on how hardline of a Klingon you are, right? Yeah. I could imagine, but it was interesting because Jaden talks about that. He's talking about my brother understood the myth of Kahless, and he's like the things we believe about Kahless and how this conquest brought us together. Yeah, and he's kind of acknowledging that when he says I think he says myth, he says something like that.
Yeah, he does reference the Klingons being hard pressed into myth,
right? And so he just acknowledges that it's kind of okay. And I mean, Jaden, of course, being a less hardline Klingon, in some ways at least, and a more progressive Klingon, he's gonna be one that would be willing to sort of look the other way. But I just feel like there'd be a lot of Klingons who'd be like, I saw what that battle was. That was some Mickey Mouse shit. What are you doing? That's not a real battle. That's dishonorable. You know what I mean? I could see some Klingons really pushing back, but the ones that were being led by this particular Klingon leader, and they're all very desperate. And I think there's something to be said of. I think this has happened on a number of sort of Star Trek episodes over the years, where it's they just need plausible deniability to go along with what the Federation wants. Sometimes that's been a theme before, and I liked it. I do like the. There's something really beautiful about them going into this battle, and the Mickey Mouse shit of it was really nice.
Yeah, there's a version of that I like, and that's why I said I feel like I'm on the fence about how they went about it, because part of me wanted to maybe play it up a little bit more, maybe let it go a little further, maybe even let there be a little hiccup where we think, oh shit, something's going to happen, but ultimately this isn't and I've seen people saying that it dishonors the Klingons and all this stuff. This is nothing that we haven't seen before with the Klingons. Right. It's been made very, very clear that the Klingons suit their own needs and then decide certain twist it to be honorable if they want. The treaty with the Romulans and TOS, for example, or we have DS9 episodes where Kor and Kang and Koloth telling these tall tales, these epic, these epic tales of how they bested Kirk at the bloody dot. No, they didn't. No, the fuck they didn't. They're liars. They were always liars. Yeah. Like, we've got that great line from Dax and Tacking Into the Wind in DS9 where she talks about how, like, the Klingons have real issues and really problematic denials about their fucking culture and about, like, where they're heading. So that has been a very well-known problem. I mean, this was a thing in Star Trek 6, where they didn't want to accept any kind of help from the Federation, but they're dying. And then, like, you have, not spoilers for Star Trek 6, but, we have where they've got roughly 50 years of life left to their culture, and Praxis has exploded from overmining. The government is basically saying, we can't do this anymore. And then you have, like, dissidents who are willing to go behind assassinate the Chancellor of the High Council and make it look like the Federation has started this fucking war because they don't want Klingon culture to go away. Like, they're a very proud people and they're full of shit. Sounds like America.
Yeah,
a little bit.
For sure. A lot of elements of America. A lot of elements of any culture that has a pride around it. I hate to say it, but most, I think, not that you can't have cultural pride, and there's all kinds of cultural pride, but, like, any pride that leads you to believe that you're superior is your people are superior is bullshit. It's you're believing a myth, and like and that's a big problem in today's world, and in all times. But I liked this episode a lot. It was a little maybe slow for me or something, but I really enjoyed just the only. I can't be soothed. Last week I was saying, like, this episode there weren't as many stakes. And then this week my feeling in my heart was, really? Are they going to save, like, a classic Star Trek race every other episode? Like, that seems like a lot for,
I thought you'd be happy because you've been wanting to know what happened to the Klingons.
100%. I thought I'd be happy too. And I am. I enjoyed the episode, but there was also a part of me that, like, feels like, really? Like, it's always going to be one of these, like, 6 Academy cadets are going to save, like, classic Star Trek races every few episodes, or that just feels like the world is small and it's overly focused on these 6 cadets. And if you wanted to make a show about the advancement of the Federation and all the worlds coming back together, you could have made that show and not made it focused on the cadets. But I am talking out of both sides of my mouth because last week my complaint was exactly the opposite. So, like, I am not saying they're doing anything wrong. I just, both things bother me a little bit.
Well, it's not bothering me yet because we're only 4 episodes in, and bringing back the Starfleet Academy, that lends itself to being like, hey, let's get some of these big deal races back.
Right. Well, it makes 100% sense that while they're also establishing the Academy, they would also be establishing their relationships around the galaxy again. That doesn't bother me. It was the fact that, like, Mir is instrumental in bringing back the Betazoids, and then Jaden is instrumental in bringing the Klingons, saving the Klingons, and it's like, that just feels a little small for 2 roommates inside, or they're not roommates, are they?
No, they're not.
No, they're not. But two buds from the Academy to already be, like, saving 2 different, or, like, making major political progress around the galaxy while they're supposed to be in their first 4 weeks of school or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. But I think all Star Trek has that problem. A little
100%.
Bit. So
the Enterprise always has to be in the center of whatever the political thing is. But in that case, it's the flagship. It's sort of the opposite. Like, them being 2 cadets at Starfleet Academy is the opposite of being the flagship. So you have that same problem, but it's, like, magnified by a number of ways.
And like, one of the things that a lot of fans will complain about a lot with Discovery is, how the Federation is supposed to, and Picard, the Federation is supposed to be this great thing. You're not supposed to go against these ideals and everything. But in the original stuff, there's always what they refer to as a badmiral. There are always these shitty villain admirals. If there's another captain on an episode, he's gonna come off as a cock. Something's gonna happen. The Federation, it's always just our people who have the good morals, isn't it? Our protagonists.
Right. We talk about the Federation having this sort of exceptionalism, but really it is just the crew of the show. The protagonists of the show will have exceptionalism.
Yeah.
I was watching a breakdown of, the episode title, Next Generation, about it's a female, admiral comes to the ship and she wants to prosecute someone and Worf gets on her side. You know what I'm talking about? It's a really well-known episode, and I'm spacing on the name of it.
Is it the Drumhead?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, they quoted that episode.
Oh, in this episode?
Yeah, the hall or whatever was actually named after her father, and Picard in that episode quotes her father, and about the first time the speech is censored, blah blah blah, and the Doctor quoted part of it, and the fact that he didn't quote the whole thing pissed a bunch of people off, but that's fine.
Well, what I was going to say is I watched a YouTuber talking about that episode and how one of the really powerful things about that episode that makes it work really well is that Worf, a character we trust, is on the wrong side of things. And he's fully bought in on the sort of kangaroo court she's trying to present. And so and I think that sort of push and pull and giving your protagonist chances to fail morally is important to good writing.
Absolutely. So I like this episode quite a bit. There's always a little bit of convenience that I'm not usually crazy about in Star Trek, but it happens. It's kind of that way in all storytelling in a lot of ways. Most TV shows.
100%.
I loved all of the stuff about objective truth. I loved you had the conspiracy theorist and fucking doctors there's been a tragedy. Let's not compound it with stupidity or whatever it was he said.
Yeah, I love that.
With ignorance,
and I love that
what he said.
Yeah, I love that he we're gonna do this, but if we're gonna do this particular topic, you guys are going to go learn your stuff. You're going to learn the actual facts of the case and not just bring some BS in here. And they all come in with presenting very they know all the codes for every little thing and every case and stuff, and that's just it's really good.
Yeah. I loved all the stuff with how they brought the bird watching back with the binoculars to his story and to that specifically the moment with his father.
Yeah.
And I thought the Laura Thawk's speech about how dude, that was his prideful way of setting you free.
Yeah. Oh, it's meaningful. And I don't know that she's right, but it felt right. It's a really nice sentiment.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode, dude.
Me too. And it's one of those classic. I mean, we talk about the Vulcans all the time, how they're supposed to be the emotionless species, but they have all this emotion under the surface. And the same thing with the Klingons. It's sort of they're all about honor and victory, but they also have their own desires and their own self-interest at heart, and they are willing to sort of sacrifice on this thing that's supposed to be such a signature thing for their race or whatever, and part of their culture to survive. And I was it was a lot. It was really good. I liked it.
One thing I didn't really consider while I was watching it, and I wouldn't because I'm white dude. But I saw a lot of people on threads talking about how black coded it was, coming to, speaking to them with their own language and on their own terms. And I thought that was interesting. I hadn't thought about that at all.
Interesting. I don't know that I see that connection except for just necessarily black coded, but I see it as just any other culture coded, any kind of, any time you're encountering another culture. that is different from your own, trying to speak to them on their level and understand. I mean, she's in the third episode, that empathy, like having empathy for your the person, your opponent, as she says, but in this case, it's someone you're trying to help.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another thing I didn't think about. I saw someone on Threads talking about it, and I was kind of blown away because I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even think about that. Someone on Threads pointed out that Jaden and Caleb kind of being at odds was this very intentional parallel to Kalish, or Kalish, however you say it, and his brother Morath in the Klingon creation myth. And this is a new myth of a new homeworld coming into being. I thought that was really kind of cool. Like,
that's very cool.
Dude, I'll be honest. Like, I got really choked up when freaking Jaden tells Mir that he felt like he didn't have room in his heart for both.
Yeah.
And that he thought that...
I'm getting choked up now, you talking about it.
Accepting Mir or Caleb as a brother would mean letting his own brother go.
Yeah. That's a tough feeling. And
that fucked me up, dude.
Yeah. Same. 100%.
Man, I thought it was a really strong episode.
Yeah. I'm loving this show. I'm really impressed. We were worried about it for various reasons.
Sure.
We talked about it last week with the second week of it being out, and like how beforehand it came out, it was just being lambasted for, all these reasons online that were not legitimate. They were just hatred, basically. And I just love that, like, the show seems to already be finding a footing, and people are really enjoying it. And, like, people are analyzing it in that way that we analyze Star Trek. And man, next week is the Cisco episode.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
I'm excited about that part of it, but I'm worried because it's also the Sam episode. And so far, I'm not crazy about the character.
Oh, well,
she's fun, but then also a little over the top,
Sure, but a lot of times it takes that episode. Like, I've enjoyed Jaden, I really have, but like it wasn't until this episode that we really know who he is. And so it's probably going to be the same thing with Sam. So I didn't know like Suk was a Sam episode, but I'm down. I really liked, and I felt like it was almost a direct reference to Jadzia, but Chancellor Ake having this like long history with a Klingon, and like having had a romantic relationship with Klingons in her past, and like this, I don't know, like I just thought that was super fun. It felt very Jadzia to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. I liked that too.
Having lived hundreds of years, kind of the same sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
A lot of people complain about the teenage angst of it all and how they don't want to watch a show about that. But, I have not felt like they did that entirely. Like, you have young people trying to figure out who they are, but just like this episode, you have personal, emotional issues going on with them. But then you have like the adults who are running around and like trying to fix this ginormous problem, and kind of working that angle of it. So I'm enjoying it, man. I don't know. I don't understand all the hatred for sure. I'm just, especially, we weren't over the moon about this last season of Strange New Worlds. We weren't over the moon, and we straight up disliked some of Discovery.
Mm-hmm. And I was really nervous about this being the launching off point, Discovery being the launching off point for this.
Yeah.
But I've really come around. I really have.
Yeah. And, I do want to implore anyone listening who isn't, who's sort of falling into the trap of believing certain things online. Like there's a guy on Reddit, and I think he's on other platforms as well. He posts a lot of this stuff. Like, he just posted a thing that said, Paramount Plus quietly took down the first 2 episodes of Starfleet Academy from YouTube because of the dislike ratio and how few views it had gotten. None of that's fucking true. Like, they took it down because it's been up for like 3 weeks, like 4 weeks, and now it's time for their fucking streaming platform to get the views. I very much encourage anyone who is still wondering if this is any good, because I see a lot of people writing, should I check this out? And they're falling into the trap of listening to bad actors. And, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm 42. I've been a Star Trek fan. I don't even remember when I began. Like, I don't remember life without Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
My favorites are the original series of DS9. This is a good fucking show so far. I don't know what to tell you. Like, check it out for yourself, though. I swear to God. Like, if you have time to watch it, if someone tells you it's good, you have time to check it out and see what you think for yourself.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the thing is like jumping on the bandwagon to dislike something or jumping on the bandwagon to like something is never the way. Just watch it and see if you like it. I can understand people not wanting to watch it because of the current like political climate or whatever and stuff surrounding CBS or whatever. But like as for it as a Star Trek show, I think it's really great.
Yeah, and ironically, the people who are bitching about it are mostly mad at it because it's quote unquote woke.
Right, and they only mean it has representation in it. Representation is not wokeness. It is not. It's a misrepresentation of what that is, and it pisses me off every time.
Well, they always grab stuff like, I mean, you remember when TNG was coming out, they were saying you can't catch lightning twice. You can't nobody wants to watch an old bald man as the captain. Nobody wants to see some doctor and her fucking kid,
Yeah.
And when DS9 came out, oh God, Star Trek started doing affirmative action. I guess that's why they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're just boldly staying on the station all day. Like when Janeway came in with Voyager, oh God, it's politically correct now. Like it's every time the same people. Well, not the same people. Thankfully, a lot of those people died. But
unfortunately, there's a whole new crop of them. Is the problem?
Their spirit lives on.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you like the little CBS Studios thing? Title card being Klingon.
I think I missed it.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. So I do want to clear up something because I've seen a lot of people complain about this, including people who wrote in. The pronunciation of Kalish adheres very closely to the original pronunciation guidelines designed by Mark Okrand for the motion picture. Well, 1985 actually. But a lot of actors mispronounced it in The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise, but some didn't. We've heard Kalish before and Kronosh. We've heard different pronunciations of these things. They didn't all of a sudden do this. It's not like whoops, this show fucked up. It's been off and on. It's just like, what's his face? How like nobody on Arrow could figure out how to say Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
So, we've had it. It's not new. It's very, very old. And even from there, they changed it from Collis from the original series into Savage Curtain. Yeah. I've
heard it more as Kalis, but like that to me, that's just like Federation standard. Like the actual
Absolutely.
Klingons say it a different way. And I always hear them say Kronos is what it always sounds like they say when they're talking about.
Right.
But this was like Quonosh or whatever, which is more how it's spelled. Well, with the S sound being different, but yeah. Anyway, I had no problem with that. And like, also it's been 800 years. So like, whatever. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's been a thing since the movies.
Right. But I'm just saying like pronunciations adapt and change too. So even if they had changed it, I wouldn't really care.
Yep.
Let's see. What did you think of the, debate challenge in general? The debate plot was kind of the meat of this episode, but of course the part we're focusing on is the Klingon stuff. Because that to me is the most interesting part. But what'd you think of the debate?
I liked it. I liked the debate stuff. I'm one of those that I would have liked to have seen more of the debates.
Yeah.
Between more of the people.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not upset Sam said Kitomer because it has been pronounced that way before. And oh my God, y'all.
Yeah, I don't. You just hang out on weird corners of the internet, man. I don't hear any of this shit.
I don't. I'm just around. I just,
Your algorithm is very, Star Trek fans being pedantic.
I try so hard not for it to be. I block like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, you just can't help yourself, though. What about the moment that I'm sure is lighting a lot of right-wing fingers ablaze with Jaden and Raimi, teaching him breathing technique, but it also there was definitely a little bit of chemistry there, or a little bit of undertones to that scene. Like I don't think
there was something.
There's it's like there are times like that that just feel like they're a little like oh, you're just reading into it. But that one didn't seem like people were reading into it. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but it just seemed to me like the way he's like holding his chest after he, and then the way Jaden like pushes his hand off, like it just seemed like there was something there that Jaden was uncomfortable with, that Raimi seemed to be putting out there.
Well, Raimi, I think in the first or second episode, or maybe it was the third. I held the fuck out. I don't know. Anyway, one of those episodes, he talked about how his parents were pushing for him to get together with some dude, and he was just like, I don't want to marry that guy, but I will sleep with his sisters to get back at them. So like it's already been stated that that's part of their culture. They're not hung up on that shit.
Oh yeah, and I assume at this point in the Federation they're not at all either. Although Star Trek has been a little light on the homosexuality in most of its incarnations. But this seems like they're going to go somewhere with it. There was already, we talked about in episode 3, there was that joke where Jaden was talking to the military cadet, and there seemed to be a little bit of some people took that as a romantic moment, but this one I felt like was undeniably a little something.
Yeah, and it was funny because I couldn't tell whether or not it was Jaden looking down and going like, wait, what is this becoming? I'm not down for this. Or if it was like this is touching a nerve and I don't like it.
Yeah, same. I don't know what
tell.
Jaden was feeling in that moment, but it was definitely like there was a little bit of a spark, and Jaden shut it down. I'm assuming we'll get back to that and find out a little more.
I'm fine either way. I will say, Raimi making the rounds, dude, because I thought he was hitting up Genesis for a second, and now all of a sudden, sorry, every time I'm going to say her damn name, Genesis? Genesis is planet forbid. Why would they name a character Genesis in Star Trek? Don't do that to me, man.
Oh, man. Well, do we have any feedback yet?
We do. We have a bunch of feedback.
You want to jump into it?
Oh, sure.
Let's do it.
Sure. By the way, did you notice that they mentioned that, I believe they mentioned that they had dilithium reactors on Kronos, and that's what destroyed their world.
Yeah, the burn destroyed their world, not just their ships, because we've seen their world many times, and it's full of weird reactors and like toxic waste looking stuff everywhere. So, it sounds like they industrialized using dilithium, and that caused their world to go.
Mm-hmm. And I saw this noted on Memory Alpha, and you're always talking about how you want to know more about the universe, what's going on. There was an FNN report that read, Navarre Council meets with Hirogen delegation ahead of the Delta Quadrant Summit.
Huh.
So Hirogen. Ah!
Interesting.
Hirogen.
Did you also notice they had a, Bajor Club?
Yes, they said something about like the Celestial Temple meets every Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's gotta be
something
connection. That's gonna be in
the
next episode.
Yeah, I would think so. There's a little tease for it. Awesome. Well, let's dive into our feedback, man.
All right. Let's play. Boom, boom, boom. We got some for episode 3. The game and the lesson is what this is called here. Hey guys, I love the episode. The lesson about patience and empathy was brilliant. The game was not like laser tag. And the reveal about why Sadal joined the War College made sense. I really want to know if her power is like a Charles Xavier and Logan situation, though. This show is hitting for me on all cylinders. The character growth of our main characters, along with the life lessons and connections to how the cadets learn about what Starfleet is really about, will keep me engaged for this season. But I have a feeling that the episode 5 you were talking about on your first cast of this show will be the turning point. Do you guys think that Raimi's parents are actually ignoring him, or do you think they will tie into a future episode like they have been kidnapped by Braca or something? Keep up the good work. Shanann again?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was by Andre Sparks. I didn't mention Andre Sparks, who wrote that.
Thanks, Andre. Yeah, they've shenaned once. They will shenan again.
Yeah, sorry, Shanann again is... there was something weird with the formatting here when I copied it over, but that was the title for Sterling Gray's feedback.
Well, real quick, before we move on, what did you think of Andre, the idea that his parents might be kidnapped or something like that?
Oh, right. I think that this is... I don't think that's the case. I think they're just dicks.
I think that's what we're supposed to believe at this point, but I think it's an interesting theory and could absolutely tie in because he'd sent them a lot of emails. And I think that plays into his insecurities and everything, but it also, could just be a thing. Could be something going on.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that they're just that awful. And I'm hoping that because it kind of weakens that episode when you go back and look at it. If you're like, oh, well, that's what's really going on. Like I feel like that was a very telling thing for that character. Informs who he is.
I agree, but I don't think it undoes the character work. The character work is that's how he responds to his parents not responding to him. Like he doesn't seem that surprised. He seems hurt by it, but also like he's not really gonna say anything too much about it. He keeps it to himself. Like I think all of that character work is still there if something goes down. But I agree with you. Right now, I think that's what we're supposed to believe. But it's a cool idea.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind it. Not totally. Like, depends on how they do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so, title of Sterling Gray's email, Shanann again. It says, fellas, there's an old saying in the Delta Quadrant. I know it's in the Alpha Quadrant, probably in the Delta Quadrant. If you Shanann once, shame on you. You Shanann me, you can't get Shanann again.
Thank you, George W.
He attributed it to Jimadar First George W. Bush.
It's great.
He says, I don't have much to say about this episode. I'm still digging the show, but it's feeling a bit predictable. I'd like to see more of a Star Trek filter on this, more science and exploration, more 31st century technology, but it's the 3rd episode, so it's all good. The patriotic propaganda and the co-ed showers gave the episode a Starship Troopers vibe. I like it. I like that the show so far is trying different things to see what works. I like the new intro, but I wish they had included the Cerritos and Protostar as well. But maybe they are limiting it to live-action ships. It's no big deal, just wanted to mention it. Also, there is an extra in the background who looks like a zombie Wesley Snipes from the 90s. Do you know what species he is? No, I don't. I'm just glad that this show has other aliens besides Vulcans and Klingons in it. I'm all for expanding the universe. I don't know what the deal with the Protostar. I mean, they couldn't fit everything in there because I saw other people who were complaining that La Serena wasn't in there and all these other. Actually, I saw someone argue this and I agreed with them. The best thing they could do is not put the Cerritos in.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely. Like, it would not get the honor. It's too low class of a ship to get the honor of being there. I like that.
The only way to truly honor the Cerritos is to honor its legacy of being ignored.
Totally agree. I'm on board with that.
Um, Podglaze over on Thread said, "I thought episode 4 was classic Trek, a cool solution to a seemingly insoluble problem. I think he means unsolvable problem with some interesting character development along the way." Dave.Glass on Thread says, "Avoiding reality doesn't make it disappear has to be the perfect line for our times. This episode was phenomenal, showed us a different side of the Klingons' family life and structure. Absolutely amazing storyline and character development." Agreed.
Yeah. You know, we didn't really speak much on it. What did you think about the idea that the Klingons in general were at such a breaking point for their species? Like, that's a big swing for the show to do, I feel like.
I don't think it is a big swing. I don't think it's a big swing because, you know, like I said, even going back to Star Trek 6, we saw what they were doing. They overmined Praxis and destroyed it, and their species was coming to an end. Their society was about over. They didn't have any more power, and the Federation had to be like, "All right, buddy, well, let's see what we can do. Let's get let's get some kind of peace treaty going and help you guys survive." And we saw them go right back to it. It took a few centuries, but they put themselves in a bad position. And the burn, screwed everybody up.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought I'm not saying it's like not based in their character, and it makes sense. I don't mind it. I guess I just didn't. It felt like where we last saw them, with them being like an ally of the Federation and stuff. Like, it just felt like they were really joining the galactic community a little more. And I mean, it makes sense with the burn. Everybody's separated. But I could also have seen them like, having a bigger empire, like expanding after the burn or something like that. We went through a moment of conquest and we took out our weaker species around us. Or so like instead they could have like emerged as a villain again. You know what I mean? Like they could have done something different. So there's various ways they could have taken it, and I think it's interesting to make them not only refugees looking for a home and on the ropes, but also like living in these like tribal sort of settings with very small groups of people. It's just a very different Klingons than we've seen in the past.
I think it makes sense for them to be where they were.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm definitely not saying it doesn't. I'm just curious what you thought of it as I think it's a swing. It's just like, it's a choice, and I like it as a choice. I think it's good.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels to me like there was no choice in some ways. Like, it feels to me like, if the burn devastated the Federation and all these other like bigwig places, what did it do with the Klingons? And they would have made poor choices that led to really bad shit happening. Like, I feel like, especially considering that they don't want to accept any kind of help.
Right.
And they have so much pride. Like, I liked it, and it was almost a little predictable in that way, where you're like, yeah, poor bastards. Never did figure it out.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the Klingons have always been an interesting race to me because their culture is so honor-bound and violent and like ready for battle any moment. It's a good day to die, like that is, as a philosophy, is sort of like self-defeating in the long run. And so the fact that they, we talked about it last week, they obviously have to have medics and shipbuilders and all this stuff, but they don't honor those people the way they do warriors. And so, the fact that they're spacefaring at all always seems a little like, that seems like that's amazing they got to that point, if that's their philosophy, And I guess that's, to be attributed to like Kalis or Kaddish and his bringing the houses together and causing basically peace so that they could get out to the stars and then get in more fights.
Right. Right. Starfleet Academy is the title of this email. Mark McEwen writes, "Hey guys, like you, I cannot believe that I actually like Starfleet Academy. I was expecting to hate it even more than Section 31, but it's fantastic. Few things. Guys, Betazoids live on Beta Z. How am I a bigger nerd than you guys?" Okay,
we know.
Let me address this.
I keep saying it wrong. I know that it's my fault. I kept saying last week, I know that, but I definitely said it wrong a couple times last episode.
I did too.
Yeah?
Yeah. He says, my Betazoid headcanon is that they interbred with other species for so long that they lost their black irises and all became watered-down empaths instead of telepaths. I feel like I'm the only one who noticed that the exocomp's name was Almond Basket, maybe because I had subtitles on. Also, I yelled alone in my car because neither of you remembered exocomps.
Oh, yeah. Definitely didn't remember exocomps.
Well, I knew what an exocomp was. I didn't know what the fuck Matt was talking about.
You just didn't see it.
I just didn't see it. Like, I knew exactly what that was. I just didn't know, like, what are you talking about? And because what did you keep saying? Like, the little drone, the little robot.
Yeah, the little robot. I kept telling you peanut hamper. I was like, it was a little peanut hamper, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about once you said that.
Yeah.
But then, but I'm sitting there going, like, the dots? The little dots?
Yeah, you hadn't
clean
seen
everything,
it, so you were like, what are you talking about? No, there was an almond basket, and it was rolling around.
I think they hover, but...
Yeah, no, for sure. I just meant rolling like Limp Biscuit rolls, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Limp Biscuit.
rolling. What?
Oh, was that them?
Yeah, that was them. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I remember something about Nookie.
Is that Nookie?
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's Nookie, but I think that's their song, a different one of their songs from that same era. I don't know why that's in my head. Please move on.
The most I know about Limp Bizkit is when I was making fun of our friend Ryan for looking like Fred Durst back in the day.
Yeah, no, he definitely went through a Fred Durst phase. Red hat and all. Yeah. Oh, now he wears a different red hat.
I suspected, but I hoped it wasn't true.
I don't even really know. I just had a couple conversations that were like, all right, let's not even go down this road.
All right. So Mark says, I have a hard time understanding Holly Hunter. Is she intentionally slurring a bit in order to imitate Carol Kane? Is it supposed to be a Lanthanite thing? I don't know. But I don't think she's trying to imitate anyone.
No.
That just sounds like Holly Hunter.
Yeah, that's what she sounds like always. That's just what Holly Hunter sounds like.
I just watched an interview with her, and that's exactly the way she talked.
Yeah, totally.
He says, wasn't Tilly supposed to be in the show? I wasn't a big Disco fan at all, or even a Tilly fan, but I thought they were basically setting things up for Tilly to be in the show. What gives? I don't know, because they never officially said that Starfleet Academy was going to be a Tilly show, but they did seem to be setting her up to be in the show. It seemed that way.
Well, they asked her to come work at Starfleet Academy. Like at the end,
yeah.
I think the president asked her to come work at Starfleet Academy with them. And yeah. And she just hasn't been anywhere. And I don't know if that's because of like pushback about her character and people not liking Disco as much and wanting to have more of a clean break from it. But I don't hate her character, and I think it would be interesting to get her character on here and give her a little more to do,
We did hear that she's coming back for one episode this season.
Okay, just one episode. Interesting.
That's what we heard.
Okay.
The last time I heard, anyway.
I would love to see the whole cast of Disco pop in on an episode here. That like in any of them coming back for like an episode would be cool with me. Yeah. I love that kind of continuity. And even if it's the show that's not my favorite Star Trek show, like I still love it and still want to see where those characters are,
Absolutely. Like I don't mind seeing them anytime.
Yeah.
I say that as someone who is not a big fan of Tilly, but I don't care. Bring her back. Do your fan service. It doesn't have to be me that you're servicing.
Well, and sometimes a character is on one show and they never really figure them out, and then they get to another show and it's like, oh, this character is beautiful and wonderful. I mean, I obviously there's like Worf and O'Brien who ended up coming over to DS9. Not that they weren't beloved on TNG, but I think they got a lot more character work on DS9. And
I agree.
Some beautiful episodes that really made their characters sing. So, like, you could do something like that with any of these characters and it could be really cool. And just, like, bringing in characters from Disco, and you've got this character from Voyagers on the ship, and you've got a character from Disco, and any of that. It'd just be neat to have all these crossover stuff happening.
It would. And Mark says, when Laura was bleeding on the table, her blood was white. Catcher cell white? That's what I assumed.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I said. I saw it myself. Mark also says, P.S. It's McEwan. McEwan is how he pronounced it. Mac means son of Ewan. Like if Ewan McGregor was my dad. He's not my dad, but odds are he would have been a better dad than mine was.
He probably would have been a better dad than all of ours.
And everyone paranoid. It makes me a little paranoid. Like, did Mark write in and I mispronounced his name? Is that what happened?
I don't think so. I think he's just letting you know. I don't think Mark's written in before that I know of. I might be wrong, but not this season anyway. It might have been on a different show.
I thought he had.
Oh, I might be wrong. McEwan.
At some point. No, not this season, but
it may be from a different season.
All right, let's move on to Sterling Gray talking about episode 4. He titles this "A Twinkle in My Father's Pants." He says, "Okay, I tried to rush, so my feedback wasn't a week late, and I ended up providing a crock pot theory as opposed to a crackpot theory. Not the worst mistake I've made." So, welcome to my new segment, Crockpot Theories. Very creative, I know. So, pass the Leola route and let's cook nice and slow. The Klingons will show up again to save Caleb and the Athena from an attack from Nusbraka. Also, neither Giamatti nor Maslany will show back up, at least until episode 8. So, let this cook nice and slow. I'm glad you guys brought up all of the Trekkie outrage over nitpicky things. I hate it, too. Fans get outraged over things that don't matter. It's those small plot holes and inconsistencies that spawn books and alternative stories. Plus, sometimes headcanoning something is just plain fun. Lower Decks is a prime example of how those inconsistencies can lead to something fun. As for episode 4, I loved it. A lot of character development and debate. I love that we got a little background on how the burn affected the Klingons. Do you think the show will expand or explain the destruction of Kronos? I guess I should say. I don't think it will be a big deal, but again, another missing piece that could make a great short trek or something. Like I said, Sterling, they did mention that there were just a lot of dilithium reactors on planet and that blew up during the burn. As stupid as I think the burn was. Well, the way they explained it anyway.
Yeah, like I think that the concept of the burn and what it's doing for this show is cool. Like and the rebuilding of the Federation and having a time period where you've lost your way as the Federation is cool. The only problem with that is it's like they did that on Picard, they did that on Disco, and now they're continuing that on this show, and this is more rebuilding than anything else. And I like this a lot, I really do. But I don't know, just I think it may be just a artifact of our time we're living in, that writers are saying, well, if we're gonna write what we know, let's write a government that's lost its way.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. In Star Trek, whether you bitch all you want about Star Trek, not being Star Trek, but what Star Trek actually is reflecting the times. Sterling continues, as for expanding Klingon lore, I'm glad they didn't mention Worf among the legendary Klingon warriors. It expands their culture. I feel like the Klingons have mellowed a bit over 800 years. Not sure if I like that, but it makes sense that influences from the Federation, much like the augment virus, have made them more human-like. But a more mellow Klingon makes it believable that they could be patronized by a clearly fake battle for the refugee planet. The Klingon leader's wink and the smile, I thought, showed some of that evolution. The Klingons were in a desperate situation and really didn't have much of a choice.
They also, just to point out, they made it clear that like this particular Klingon leader was one that might be open to something, whereas they knew other hardliners wouldn't be. And so what this probably establishes is them getting a new homeworld, and now they will have to sort of have their own working out of who is going to lead them, and we don't know yet if it's going to be someone like this character or one of the more hardline. It would be actually, I think it would be really an interesting plotline if they get a homeworld and they win it through conquest, and that's the tale they tell themselves, and then they come back and like the hardliners want to go do more conquest. Like, well, we've got to continue our culture and do what we do, and then they're a problem for the Federation suddenly.
Yeah. I believe he did talk about, like, there are 8 Klingon houses left.
Mm-hmm.
They can't afford to split up right now.
Right.
Like, this isn't a negotiable on that. Like, we're going to have to do whatever we're going to have to do together. Sterling continues, lastly, Kalish, not Kalis, or Kalis, Kitomer, and not Kitomer. I'll chalk that up to 800 years worth of the telephone game. Hopefully you've already listened to the previous part where we talked about that, but yeah, it's Jesus, Yeshua, and Jesus, and all, they're just gonna call it different things. Let's see. Stu Little says at this rate, Sam's the only cadet without parent issues. Well, next week is coming, buddy. She was birthed 4 weeks ago or whatever the fuck it was.
She hasn't had time for her parents to be assholes to her.
Yeah. Her parents are photons, as we all know, photons act differently when they're being observed, so who knows how bad they actually were.
That's true.
I hate that I know that.
Good double slit joke.
More of this gay stuff.
It's too woke in here.
One of the Klingon dads was a cock. Ah!
What did you just say?
One of the Klingon dads was a cock. I saw somebody complaining that online. I was like, oh, God. They just have 2 males in the house. God. So weird. Oh, you fuckers.
Weird.
They had 2 dads. They said they were a triad house.
Oh.
So they had 2, there were 2 fathers. There were 2 men and 1 mother.
I didn't even catch that. Okay.
Oh, my God.
I saw that. I saw that there were lots of characters. I just didn't catch all the dynamics, I guess.
Yeah. You just thought it was like another older brother they didn't discuss.
or like an uncle or something. I don't know. It's like you have a family unit, especially in these tribal places, like, it's not necessarily going to be an exact, like, atomic family or whatever.
It's just, creepy old Uncle Crunk. But no, it was like the other husband.
Yeah.
As I understand it. And they didn't say who he was for. So, they referred to both of them as dads.
Interesting.
So
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So Stu says, Vox in Excelso, quote, I'm older than you, so I have more of a right to free speech than you do. Not sure that's how it works, Doctor. Sounds pretty boomerish to me.
100%.
Absolutely. But also that kid had it coming.
Mm.
You know what? I felt like? I felt like that was them saying fuck you to the new fans. Or the old fans who are bitching about, you're saying shit. They say curse words of Star Trek now. They always did.
Yeah.
They always did. But, they've been around long enough. They've, to know that that's what's going to happen. We got that on Discovery as well. About, they're cursing too much. They said fuck.
I do think I know it was a trick, but the decapitated babies is the thing that I always go back to with Discovery, where I was like, oh my gosh. Like, that was the moment I was like, well, this is going a little far. Like, I can't watch this with my kiddo or whatever.
I wasn't upset about that. But I don't have kids, and I have no intention of having any, so I was like, yeah, bring on spiky Klingon tits. Let's see the decapitated Klingon babies. It's time for Star Trek to get metal. No, you know what, Stu? It does sound boomerish, but it also sounds very The Doctor.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, like he said, he literally argued for his own freedom.
Yeah, he debated himself into, like, his own rights or whatever. I thought that was really cool.
he says he wants to say chicken shit. He can say chicken shit.
The one thing I will say about them, his speech, I feel like calling them zygotes is funny once. I think they were called zygotes. The kids were called zygotes twice, and I think it's been before in the show. Like, I think that joke has been used 2 or 3 times, and I was just like, that's too many times for the zygote joke. But it's twice this episode.
I can see that. Quote, I will not eat anything that did not die in a fair fight. So you could potentially practice cannibalism then. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, Stu.
Well, you might just be a vegetarian Klingon then.
Yeah, you remember that old couple in fucking, what was it called? Book of Eli.
I do not.
You know, they're hanging out with that old couple in the middle of nowhere, and they're like shaking, and he's like, they're shaking, they're cannibals.
Oh, yeah, I do vaguely remember that now.
Yeah. Stu says, Kalesh, Kronosh, look, nerds already have enough of a debate over how to pronounce Ra's al Ghul without Star Trek suddenly deciding Kalas and Kronos can be said with sh sounds. Not suddenly. Been around forever. Stu says, this episode was described as being about Krog and a threat to a beloved but infamous species, so I was kind of expecting tribbles to appear. For people who have a problem with that last bit where they just, well, we fought a little bit. Oh, I guess you won the planet. We were talking about a species who are like, a dozen warbirds went out to conquer the Tribble.
That's true. You're totally right. Yeah.
That's a good point, Stewie. Thanks for bringing up the Tribble.
Not the point he was making, but give it to him.
I'll give it to him because, I mined my own point out of what he had to say.
Good Lord.
Stu says, no, wait, I actually want to hear more about the Emerald Chain in a debate. We moved on from them way too quickly as antagonists. We have plenty of time. I got so tired of the fucking Emerald Chain in Discovery. I'm happy to just move on.
Oh, man. I want to know more. Like, it was really just that one season, right? Emerald Chain, that we dealt with them a lot, the first season of this century or whatever, right?
We found out a lot about them in that one season.
Yeah.
Of Discovery, whatever it was, season 4.
I liked that. I liked them as a foil, and they're still around, so I'm assuming we'll see them again.
Oh yeah, sure. They've got time, maybe. Who could tell? Prodigy did pretty well, and it got canned. So
yeah, Prodigy was absolutely great.
Sue says Krog with the red jacket, blue t-shirt combo. Clearly a Smallville fan. God, wonderful pull. Stu. Stu says he didn't take the shot on the hunt for pacifist reasons, but because it's not a fair fight. If the bird had a bow, it would have been different. Yeah.
Maybe so.
That'd have been a special fucking bird, those talons, just pulling the bow back without like cutting the string with his toe, that'd be something. It's not pronounced Kitomer either. Some people do. Starfleet Academy and Wonder Man, 2 shows where any problem can be solved by breathing exercises. Dude, have you tried box breathing, man? Like, fuck. Like, so much of my life has been helped by, like, just breathing exercises. Lowering the blood pressure, getting me out of a panic spiral.
Yeah.
It's good shit. 5 seconds in. Hold 5 seconds. 5 seconds out. Come on, man. I think it'll help you, Stu. Do your breathing exercises before you write these. You're getting too worked up, Stu. I'm just playing. Kinda. So basically all Klingons are warriors as long as they can define what they do as a battle. This crossword puzzle has been vanquished by me in an honorable battle. May my house sing songs of this glory for eons. I revert you back to the Tribble thing I pointed out a second ago. I think it's true. I think you're right. Absolutely. Like, the Klingons revere warriors so much. They do. Like, they have to create, like, if they, like I fucked the shit out of that bulkhead. I conquered that bulkhead when I figured out how to put it together. My God, you're absolutely correct. These people, the only way they value themselves is through the prism of being a warrior.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be something more to that too. Is the idea that Kalish brought the tribes together, which inherently is like in a way a peaceful thing to do. Like, you stopped war on your own planet long enough to reach the stars and to do all these things, get warp drive, all that stuff. But it had to all be couched in, we were great warriors, it was a great conquest. And I think like that was all what this episode was pointing out, that like that's all a myth. That everything we've ever heard about the Klingons, at least the way that Jay Den's brother understood it, is like that's all part of the myth of Kalish. And you being a warrior is an honor, is more than just being a warrior.
Yeah, but there is something honorable and warrior-like in overcoming the stigmas of your own fucking society to be your own person.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna cry. Shut the fuck up, Dave.
No, man. Cry, Dave. Sorry.
No, I'm good. Any idea if Discovery showed up for the battle? I'd check myself, but I'm lazy. No, I didn't look.
I didn't notice them. The ships were kind of far away. I didn't see a disco. I feel like I would have noticed that, but I don't think they needed to jump there. It was probably just the things in the local area.
I do like this. He says LARPing was a novel solution to the problem. That is basically what they did.
1000%. I really like it when it's like, all right, shield's done to 95%, no actual physical damage. I guess we're about. Should we stop now?
Those Federation patach, they cowered and ran.
Exactly. That's going to be the tale they tell. Their ships were stronger. Their shields. They thought their shields would hold, but they still ran scared when they saw our might.
The might of a mere 8 Klingon houses. They're awful. Stu says, I think this was the strongest non-pilot episode so far and benefited from cooling it with the glibness and focusing on a serious story with the sort of B-plots. Kale and her old Klingon flame. Is that? I think it's Kayla. Isn't it? I don't know. Being still tied into the main story. It also was a bit of a boon to me that I didn't have to put up with any Caleb Tarima scenes this week. I do kind of agree with the sentiment I've seen, though, that Alex Kurtzman Trek is maybe doing the remember this iconic species? They're refugees now plot a little too much. Vulcans in the Kelvin timeline, Romulans in Picard, Klingons here. What's next? Ryza got hit with an asteroid and the survivors exist mainly on roaming brothel ships? Good stuff overall, though.
What they did with the Federation. Federation was also, was on the verge of death and like living in a little like shield bubble when we found them in Disco.
Yeah, dilithium is oil.
Yeah, all their oil got blowed up.
Yeah. That said, I love the idea of brothel ships. That feels Firefly as fuck.
Yeah, it does. That it does.
I'm rooting for brothel ships.
All right. I can't decide if it's too far to make another double slit joke. So is that our last feedback?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm excited that everybody seems to be enjoying the show, and it's just a good time. And thanks everybody for writing in. It makes us feel nice to know people are listening, and it's cool. Star Trek UCast at gmail.com, by the way, is how you reach us.
Right. It makes me feel nervous as hell. Not nice, but thank you.
That people are listening? Or that...
I don't like that people are listening.
Yeah, that's fair.
That takes me right out of my comfort zone. I couldn't even say zone because I'm so fucking nervous about it. Oh my God, they're listening. They're really fucking listening. Jesus God. They're paying attention to what little old me and little old you have to say about this. It's terrifying.
Indeed. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Jolon True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.